Have you ever heard of a city so magnificent, so beautiful, that its temple was considered a wonder of the ancient world? Now, what if I told you it was completely, and I mean completely wiped off the face of the earth, burned to the ground with not one stone left on top of another? Well, the source we're looking at today says this wasn't just a random act of war. It presents a very specific and frankly pretty startling explanation for why it all had to happen. So let's get into it. We're not just talking about any old city here. According to our source material, Jerusalem and its temple were the absolute heart of a culture's identity. But our focus today isn't on its glory. It's on this one single catastrophic event that saw the whole thing vanish, supposedly fulfilling a prophecy made decades earlier.
Okay, so let's get the basic facts on the table. The year is AD 70. The place is Jerusalem, and the force is the full might of the Roman Empire, led by a general named Titus. These are the historical pillars of the story we're unpacking. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you have this incredible, thriving city with a temple that was a global marvel. And on the other side, just nothing, total ruin. Our source really drives home that this wasn't just a defeat in battle, this was a complete and total erasure. And here is where the story gets really interesting. You'd think the conquering general would be the one leading the charge, right? Waving the torch himself, maybe. But according to this narrative, the Roman general, Titus, actually wanted to spare the city and its temple. He apparently gave orders to preserve it.
So that's the big question, isn't it? If the guy in charge of the whole invasion, the man with the army, literally gives orders to save the city, how does it end up completely obliterated? It suggests that this wasn't just a battle that got out of hand. The source implies that some other, more powerful force was at play, making the city's destruction, well, inevitable. And this is the explanation our source material puts on the table. It points directly back to a prophecy, one made nearly 4 decades before the Roman armies even showed up. The argument is that the fate of Jerusalem wasn't sealed in AD 70, but 39 years before that. And when you read the prophecy quoted here from the book of Luke, it is shockingly specific. It talks about enemies who will lay thee even with the ground and not leave one stone upon another. This isn't some vague prediction like bad things will happen. This is like a detailed blueprint for total annihilation. So let's break that down. The prophecy basically lays out a 4-step plan for destruction. First, a siege trench gets built. Second, the city is completely surrounded. Third, it's leveled. And fourth, that final, almost unbelievable detail. Not a single stone will be left on top of another. But here's the thing. The most crucial part isn't just what the prophecy says will happen, but why it says it will happen. The text itself gives a direct cause for this unbelievable level of destruction. It wasn't random. There was a reason. And there it is. That one phrase is presented as the absolute heart of the matter. All of that destruction, the prophecy says, would happen for one single reason, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. In other words, for missing a moment of supreme cosmic importance. So this all boils down to one central idea, what's called prophetic fulfillment. From this viewpoint, the fall of Jerusalem wasn't just a historical event or a military conquest. No, it was destiny. It was the unavoidable direct result of a specific prophecy coming true. So to put it as simply as possible, the story being told here is of a magnificent city that was given this one pivotal opportunity, this time of visitation. And because it missed that moment, its fate was sealed. It didn't matter what a Roman general or anyone else tried to do. Now, our source text ends with this invitation to have a discussion. So let's end with that exact question. What could it possibly mean for a city or a nation, or hey, even for us as individuals, to know the time of our visitation? How do you even recognize your most important moments before they're gone for good? It's definitely something to think about.